Welcome back to the Deep Dig Sports Pod. I'm your host, Drew. My other host, right over there.
What's up? It's D. Good to see you again. Today we are doing the Diamond Pick of the Week, where every single week we go through the 49ers game, see what are the best odds, what's the spread looking like, what are these props, and we try to make the best bet of the week, and that is the Diamond Pick. Before we dig into that, be sure to hit that like button. Be sure to drop some comments. Let us know what you're betting. And be sure to subscribe. The channel is growing pretty quickly, so you're going to want to get on board.
Yeah, I think we won about 4 in a row.
We did win 4 in a row, so we're feeling pretty good. We are up right now. I believe it's 6.5 units from the start of the year. So feeling pretty good. We're hoping to keep this train rolling.
Yep, just like the Niners, we're going to keep winning. So let's go and talk about that spread.
Yeah, so the Seattle Seahawks are coming to Levi's Stadium. It is a 13.5-point game. So the 49ers are the favorite by 13.5 points. If you are thinking that the Seattle Seahawks are, hey, you know what, this is a trap game, this might be a good time to bet on the Seattle Seahawks. Their odds are pretty tasty. But, I mean, let's kind of dig into that. Like, what do you think as far as that spread? I know that's something me and you talked about. What are your thoughts?
I mean, I felt better about it because it looked like for a second that it was going to be Drew Lock and DJ Dallas versus the 49ers. But Geno Smith looking like he's going to play. Kenneth Walker looking like he's coming back. I never want to count out Pete Carroll in that team. They do have a lot of talent. I'm not saying they could win, but I mean, definitely they could score a couple touchdowns and keep it pretty close.
Yeah, and so just so everybody knows, the money line, if you were just take the 49ers straight up, it is minus 900. And the Seahawks, if you were to take them money line, it's actually plus 575. So again, if you do think this is going to be a trap game for the 49ers, if you sprinkle a little chunk of change on that, you would get back a pretty good return. The over-under is 46.5. I mean, this feels like a weird game to me. Like, I don't feel 100% comfortable in this position where it's coming off of a huge win at Philly. How do you, if you're the 49ers, how do you wake up for this game and feel energized and feel the same amount of intensity that you felt in Philadelphia? I just don't think it happens. But high-level teams do what high-level teams do, which is beat shitty teams. And Seattle right now looks like a shitty team. They just look like this. If they lose this game, that might be the nail in the coffin for this season. And I mean, they looked pretty just kind of flabbergasted in the last matchup with this 49ers team. They benched Tariq Woolen. They just couldn't get the offense going behind DK Metcalf. Kenneth Walker was out. He's going to be back, but he has been banged up. So who knows what he's going to look like. Zach Charbonnet's banged up. So by all means, this does seem like 49ers take this, but in those games in the past, we've seen 49ers come out in a little weird energy.
Yeah, and talk about emotional letdown game for the 49ers. The Seahawks, they're coming off the really bad Cowboys loss. Now they have to kind of put it together. And at what point do they tell themselves, like, maybe we're not a competitor this year? Maybe we're not a Super Bowl caliber team? Because I don't think they are.
No, by all means, they're not. I mean, they seemed like a fun, frisky, wild card team, but even that seems a little bit out of reach considering some of their losses and what they've actually looked like. So let's kind of hop into some of these props. Over under on passing yards for Brock Purdy is 260.5. For Geno Smith, it is 234.5. Again, I just don't know. It's a real tough toss up for me as far as with Brock Purdy, which 49ers team is going to come out. Is it going to even be needed from Brock Purdy to go out and sling it? So that's the thing. I would hold off on Brock Purdy over under yards.
Yeah, same. And with Geno, I mean, I think he hit the over just on garbage time if we get up by a lot. But at the same time, this defense, the secondary is looking really good lately for this 49ers defense.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they shut down DK last week in the end zone. It was real bend but don't break. They felt just it feels like each player of the secondary is playing with a lot more confidence moving week to week. Um, Rushing yards, Christian McCaffrey, Vegas is catching up. So we were saying anywhere between anything lower than 80 yards, we were going to bet Christian McCaffrey. His over under right now is 81.5, which again is fair. Brock Purdy over under 8.5, and Debo Samuel 13.5. Any of those, do you feel confident in the over?
I'd feel confident about all three, honestly. Like, give me McCaffrey. Anything if it's under 100, let me bet that. Um, I think he can easily get over 80. I think Brock Purdy with one scramble could hit that over 8.5, and I think Debo with one good run could hit that over. So it really it just depends on Kyle's game plan and like where he's gonna go, and like Brock scrambling, of course.
Yeah, exactly. It only takes one scramble, but how often do we get that scramble? I think it's like once every 3 games. Purdy flexes his athleticism a little bit, and we seen it last week on display when he trucked 2 Eagles defenders soft, and he had that scramble for almost a first down. I just don't know if we get it again this week. Heading down to receiving yards. So this one, again, a little bit of a toss-up. Brandon Ayuk, 66.5. Christian McCaffrey, 30.5. Debo Samuel, 52.5. George Kittle, 50.5. Jawan Jennings, 15.5. So just from the 49ers perspective, I really like Jawan Jennings. I know he was
I
our
mean,
guy last year. He felt pretty like him and Jimmy G did have that stretch because they had chemistry where he was constantly getting the over. He was such underrated. This year, I know it's been a little bit of a toss-up. If just because there's so many receivers and weapons, you only get so many attempts at it. So just tell me a little bit about the receiving core from your end.
yeah, I mean, before it was like a little frustrating because it was for the 49ers side because it was all McCaffrey and one other person. Like no one else is getting the ball. And what we've seen from Purdy this last game is like everyone is eating. So it's gonna it's more entertaining, but it's gonna make it harder to pick who's gonna come out on top on these bets. The good thing on that is none of these yardage overs are like that crazy to hit. So Kittle's is pretty low. Ayuk's is doable. Debo's is doable, and even Juwan Jennings, he get like 15 yards for him. That's where he lives. We know that from last year. He's gonna run those 15-yard outs, and he gets one catch and it's over. Like he gets it. So I mean, I feel equally good and bad about all those bets, and that's what's kind of tough about betting with these 49ers sometimes.
Yeah, looking at from the Seahawks side, DK Metcalf, 59.5. Jackson Smith and Jigba, 44.5. Noah Fant, 16.5. That's actually looking pretty good. And Tyler Lockett, 49.5. I know we are both DK Metcalf fans, but last time they saw each other, Charvarius Ward shut him down. How do you feel about those?
Yeah, I mean, it's been tough. It's going to be tough after that performance to go with DK, but maybe they make it a point to like make him look better this game. I don't know. I don't trust Tyler Lockett. I had a drop in fantasy a while ago. Jackson Smith, I feel like has turned into a guy for them. I mean, at the end of the game, in the Cowboys game, they're throwing it to Jackson Smith and Jigba. They're not throwing it to DK. So, um, I think he could actually have some yardage, especially if we're focused so much on DK. But again, I feel a kind of a toss up. I don't feel like really moved to put my money on any of those right now.
Yeah. And moving forward to touchdowns, these are the odds for at least one touchdown in the game. Debo Samuel plus 110, Brandon Ayuk plus 129, Kittle plus 140, DK Metcalf plus 210, Tyler Lockett plus 300, Jackson Smith and Jigba plus 350, and Christian McCaffrey. Vegas is insane. Minus 501. That is wild. I know me and you were talking about this off camera. We feel pretty good about making the diamond pick amongst one of these people to score a touchdown. As far as you, who are you most interested in?
I mean, I think it's pretty good odds for all the 49ers players other than McCaffrey. I'd say even Debo, he's back. He's balling. He only has 3 touchdowns of the year. They're going to try to get those numbers up. Kyle wants to ride the hot hand. I really feel good about Debo this game.
Yeah, I feel really good about Debo as well. I think he's just a man on a mission. And when he gets in these stretches of games where he's like, hey, give me the rock, I'm going to do this, you have to listen to Debo and just force feed him. Get him the ball in any way that you can, because with this guy, with the ball, with space, he's unlike any other player in the entire NFL. So I'd feel 100% comfortable with that as well.
Also,
So
the stats for the Seahawks are looking pretty good too. The odds for
yeah,
like a DK touchdown.
I know. It was pretty crazy. They
Uh
are expecting a shutout from this 49ers team, if we're going to be honest. They're expecting nothing but field goals.
yeah, but we know that this defense isn't like gonna shut out. Like they can give up a touchdown.
They can, but I'm not gonna touch that, if I'm
You don't
going to
want
be
to
honest
touch
with you.
those. Those are pretty good.
I'm good. I'm
Okay.
good off that.
Okay.
I think I'm ready. How about
All
you?
right. Yeah.
All right. So the diamond pick of the week this week, we're gonna be like Kyle Shanahan. We're gonna continue to roll with the hot hand, and we're gonna go Debo Samuel to have at least one touchdown, and that is plus 110 odds. So we're gonna place one unit on that. We're gonna keep our winning streak growing. We're gonna survive in advance. Let's get it. That's Debo Samuel at least one touchdown against the Seattle Seahawks. Go ahead and lock that in.
All right. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you during the Niners game when we win. So
All right. Let it.